Hey, what's up, guys? Felix here, and today I want to talk to you about the power of doubling it down. So, I had a podcast guest on my Shopify Masters podcast. They run a company called Batch, and now they are a multi-million-dollar company, but they struggled along the way because what they were doing was it was a group of entrepreneurs that lived in Nashville, and they wanted to find gifts to give to their friends that did not live in Nashville that gave them a taste of local flavor. So, like, food, little trinkets, like basically things that reminded people of Nashville. And they launched with, like, I think, a 200-person email list, and it quickly took off. It took off, and clearly there was demand for the product. People wanted to buy things to remind themselves of Nashville, and they thought it was originally because people were trying to buy gifts for themselves. They weren't living in Nashville. They were maybe living in other parts of the country, other parts of the world, and they wanted to buy gifts for themselves. What they found quickly out was that a lot of people, about half of them, were buying gifts for other people that they wanted to give as gifts to their friends and family for Christmas or holidays or birthdays, and give them a taste of the local flavor of Nashville. And they were growing fast, and they wanted to expand more, right? They were feeling that they were getting to the point where they should expand more, because a lot of their customers are telling them, hey, I would love to get one of these gift boxes of Austin, and I would love a gift box of Atlanta, all these other kind of big cities in the South. They were getting all of this kind of feedback for people to create, for them to create more gift boxes. So they decided to expand. They decided to expand to Austin, decided to expand to Austin, decided to expand to Atlanta, decided to expand to basically other cities in the U.S. and do the same model. Create like a box that represents a given city and allow people to buy it as gifts. And it turned out not to work at all. It failed because they didn't have the right infrastructure. They didn't know enough about the local culture enough to create these gift boxes, which they were killing it with the Nashville gift boxes. That's where they were all from. That's where they grew up. They knew everything about it. And what they learned about this process was, like, rather than kind of expanding outwards and trying different things, even though it seemed kind of related, it was still expanding outside of what they knew the most about. They knew the most about Nashville. That's what was winning things for them. And they instead decided to pull back operations, remove the gift boxes options from those cities, and no longer allow gift boxes from those cities. And they focused all the efforts, they doubled down on Nashville. They went deeper. Where can we get even better products, more products, different kind of variety boxes, different theme boxes for different holidays, and really dug deep and doubled down on what worked already. And this power doubling down makes a huge difference for them, because you don't got to learn something new. You already have the infrastructure set up. You already know how it works. All you got to do is refine it, get better at it. How can you do more of what is valuable to your audience? In their case, what was valuable to their customers? And it was about Nashville. So find out what is it for you and double down on that. Don't expand outwards. And that was a mistake I made when I launched my podcast. I was making money with it. I was making money with it with ads, right? That's my first way to generate revenue. I think I was making about $300 a month at first, and then I got $1,000 a month contract. I think it's $1,000, 66 or something like that. $1,000 contract per month for 6 months. That was what I was getting, and I started thinking, okay, what other ways can I make money? And I started expanding out to, like, do these membership sites and start doing these newsletter advertisements. I started looking at building apps. I started doing a bunch of different things. I started doing a Facebook group. I started doing a bunch of different things that are monetizable. These are all avenues for monetizing a podcast, but I started expanding too quickly. I should have stuck with what worked. The model that worked for me was the monetization model with advertising. Advertisers spending money with me. I was creating a podcast that advertisers wanted to spend money on, and I should have focused more on how do I find more advertisers just like them? What about my podcast makes advertisers attracted to my podcast? How do I give them more of that, without, of course, jeopardizing my listener base? But how do I double down on what works already? And that's the power of doubling down. You already are going 100, like, let's say 50 miles per hour in one direction. Why hit the brakes and go 50 miles per hour in another direction? Instead, you should stomp down the gas and go 100 miles per hour in that same direction. So find out what works for you. Don't expand from there. Don't look around and say, okay, what else can I do that's similar to this? What else can I do? Double down and dig deeper. There's always more that can be uncovered down the path of that you're going down with success. It almost never ends. This path of success that works for you. Keep on doubling down, keep on going down that path. And that's what I learned, that the more I focus, that's what focus means. Being able to pick and understand what's been working for me, and then keep on doing that. Stop doing stuff that's not working. Stop looking at other things. Not until I hit a dead end. Not until I just try everything I can and no longer can dig deep and no longer can double down do I look to expand. And I asked them, asked the guests on my podcast, like, if you want to check out the website, it's called Batch at batchusa.com. Really cool product. And I asked him, like, when do you know you can expand outwards rather than doubling down, going deep? And he told me that you don't do that until you have the infrastructure. You don't until you have the team set up. I had no team. I had me and the audio editor, and I think I had my assistant at the time, but still not enough. Not enough of a big enough team to expand outwards. I needed to focus everyone's efforts on getting more ads. And that's what I did. I focused on ads and it grew. It grew to basically a 6-figure income because I focused specifically on what worked for me, which was advertising. So if you're out there, you're thinking about how do you figure out what's your thing. It's important to figure out what are you best at? What do you have the most interest in? What would actually pumps you up? What gets you passionate? What can you spend years. I spent 5 years talking on the same topic about Shopify, and on the Shopify Masters podcast. What can you spend years talking about and double down on that? Don't look outwards, double down on it. And it's all about picking the perfect podcast niche. If you don't know what yours is yet, make sure to get the perfect podcast niche course, which is at podcastingsecrets.co/niche, NICHE. And shout out to everyone that's tuning in. I think it's really important that, again, whether you have a niche figured out already or not, if that's great. If you don't have it figured out, definitely check out the course. If you don't have it figured out yet, or sorry, if you have it figured out already, think about what is my audience already resonating with. What are they downloading a lot of? What are they getting the most comments on? What are you getting the most engagement on? And don't look for other things that you can try to do. You can do that at some point. Okay, I know that there's itch to try to do more and more and more, but instead think about deep and go deeper and give them what they want. And then you can expand from there. And once you have kind of a raving audience, raving fans, then you can expand outwards. So hopefully that helps you out. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.